Hi guys, welcome to Red Pakistan community. My name is Hulk and today I will show you a short report about all problems in Pakistan. So let's begin.
All problems in Pakistan. A comprehensive overview. Pakistan, a nation of over 240 million people, is endowed with natural resources, a strategic location, and a young population. Yet, since its independence in 1947, it has faced persistent challenges that have hindered its progress. These problems span across various sectors: political instability, economic crisis, governance issues, social divisions, and external threats. Understanding the root causes and interconnected nature of these challenges is essential for anyone interested in the country's future. 1. Political instability and weak democratic institutions. Pakistan's political history has been marked by a power struggle between elected government and the military establishment. Since independence, the country has seen multiple military coups: 1958, 1977, and 1999. No prime minister has ever completed a full 5-year term. Political parties often resort to personal attacks and vendettas instead of focusing on policymaking. The military establishment is widely believed to interfere in elections, government decisions, and foreign policy. This tug-of-war has weakened democratic institutions, reduced public trust in the system, and discouraged long-term planning. 2. Economic crisis. Pakistan is facing a prolonged economic crisis driven by a. Debt and deficits. Public debt has surpassed 80 trillion rupees, making debt servicing one of the biggest burdens on the budget. The country relies heavily on IMF bailouts, foreign loans, and remittances instead of generating internal revenue. B. Balance of payments crisis. Pakistan's imports far exceed exports, industrial growth is stagnant, and manufacturing has failed to diversify or scale. C. High inflation and unemployment. Food and energy inflation has soared, eroding purchasing power. Youth unemployment remains high, causing frustration and brain drain. D. Tax evasion and narrow tax base. Less than 2% of the population pays income tax. Elite capture and a weak Federal Board of Revenue (FBR) contribute to chronic fiscal imbalance. 3. Corruption and misgovernance. Second is deeply entrenched at every level of governance. Political corruption through misuse of public funds, fake development schemes, and nepotism. Bureaucratic corruption with red tape, bribery, and inefficiencies. Judicial favoritism where politically connected individuals escape accountability. According to Transparency International, Pakistan consistently ranks poorly on the Corruption Perception Index. The National Accountability Bureau (NAB), while powerful, has often been accused of selective accountability.
4. Judicial delays and weak rule of law. The judiciary in Pakistan is slow, overburdened, and often politicized. Critical issues include delays in case resolution, millions of cases pending in lower courts, influence of the establishment on judicial decisions, lack of protection for whistleblowers and witnesses, inconsistent application of laws. This creates an environment where the powerful escape justice while the weak suffer in silence. 5. Education crisis. Pakistan's education sector is in a dire state. 22 million children are out of school, one of the highest numbers in the world. Public schools lack qualified teachers, basic infrastructure, and accountability. There's a growing gap between elite private education and poor public schools, deepening inequality. The curriculum is outdated and often lacks focus on critical thinking, science, and innovation. Religious seminaries, madrasas serve millions, but often do not prepare students for the modern workforce. 6. Healthcare system challenges. Pakistan spends less than 2% of GDP on healthcare. Public hospitals are underfunded, overcrowded, and poorly managed. Rural populations often have no access to basic health facilities. Maternal and child mortality rates remain alarmingly high. There is limited mental health support, and stigma around mental illness is widespread. 7. Overpopulation and urbanization. With a population exceeding 240 million and growing at over 2% per year, resources are stretched thin, especially water, electricity, and health services. Unplanned urbanization has led to slums, traffic congestion, pollution, and insufficient housing. Cities like Karachi, Lahore, and Islamabad face massive strain on infrastructure and services. 8. Energy crisis. Pakistan suffers from chronic electricity shortages. Circular debt in the power sector exceeds Rs. 2.5 trillion. Heavy reliance on imported fuel makes electricity expensive. Power theft, poor infrastructure, and mismanagement cause frequent load shedding. Renewable energy adoption remains slow due to bureaucratic hurdles. 9. Ethnic, religious, and sectarian divides. Pakistan is home to multiple ethnic groups: Punjabis, Sindhis, Pashtuns, Baloch, Mohajirs, and sectarian identities: Sunni, Shia, Ahmadi, etc. Ethnic grievances, especially in Balochistan and Sindh, remain unresolved. Religious minorities face discrimination, violence, and legal persecution, especially under blasphemy laws. Sectarian violence, although reduced in recent years, still flares up occasionally. National integration remains a challenge due to unequal resource distribution and lack of inclusive representation.
10. Water scarcity and climate change. Pakistan is among the top 10 most climate-vulnerable countries in the world. Per capita water availability is approaching scarcity levels. Mismanagement of the Indus River system threatens agriculture. Glacial melt, rising temperatures, and erratic rainfall affect farming and increase the risk of natural disasters. The 2022 floods, which displaced over 30 million people, highlighted the urgent need for climate resilience. 11. Terrorism and internal security. Though the security situation has improved since 2015, threats persist. TTP Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan and other extremist groups have resurged in some tribal regions. Sectarian outfits and separatist insurgents, especially in Balochistan, continue to target civilians and security forces. Karachi, once plagued by gang warfare, has improved but remains volatile. Internal instability discourages investment and tourism and creates a constant state of fear in certain regions. 12. Weak civil institutions and militarization. Over-reliance on the military for governance-related functions has weakened civil institutions. The military controls foreign policy, internal security, and even parts of the economy: agriculture, real estate, manufacturing. Civilian governments are often unable or unwilling to assert authority. Key national decisions are made behind closed doors with little parliamentary debate or public oversight. 13. Media censorship and suppression of dissent. While Pakistan has a vibrant media landscape, it also faces censorship, bans, and intimidation of journalists, closure of critical TV channels or websites, use of sedition and anti-terror laws to suppress dissent, crackdowns on social media activism. This stifles open debate, restricts democratic growth, and limits freedom of expression. 14. Poor human rights record. Women face systemic discrimination, honor killings, and limited economic opportunities. Children are vulnerable to labor, abuse, and lack of access to education. Transgender persons, despite recent legal recognition, remain socially marginalized. Enforced disappearances, especially in Balochistan and KP, continue to raise alarm. 15. Foreign policy challenges. Tense relations with India, especially over Kashmir. Complex and often unequal ties with China, USA, and the Gulf states. Dependency on external powers for aid and loans undermines foreign policy independence. Pakistan's image abroad has been tainted by concerns over terrorism, governance, and instability.
Conclusion: Pakistan's problems are deeply interconnected. Political instability fuels economic crisis. Poor education limits employment opportunities. Ethnic grievances feed security challenges, and overpopulation stresses natural resources. While the country has shown resilience, progress has often been short-lived due to systemic weaknesses. For Pakistan to move forward, it needs genuine democratic reforms, investment in human development, a merit-based system, independent institutions, and most importantly, national unity over political or ethnic divisions. Despite all its problems, Pakistan also holds immense potential. With the right leadership and collective will, a stable, just, and prosperous Pakistan is still possible.